Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing. Don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling for July 22nd, 2021. So, this is the Impact Wrestling after Slammiversary. So, this is the Slammiversary aftermath. And with this show, man, this is actually a good show, man. This is a good show. So, this is the first Impact Wrestling taping with a crowd. You know, besides Slammiversary being with crowds, this is the first Impact Wrestling show, Thursday night Impact Wrestling show with fans. So I love the fans' reaction, whether it was whether they reacted to the matches and all that stuff, the matches or in-ring promo. They were into the show. They were into everything, and so that's what made the show better, man. And we also have a little bit more of the Forbidden Door storyline with Jay White coming in from New Japan Pro Wrestling as the never openweight champion and potentially going after Kenny Omega and the rest of the elite. But right now he's going after David Finlay. So right after Finlay, I think he's gonna go right after Omega in the Impact World Championship. Because when he first came in, man, that was his first target. That's who he went face to face with, Omega and the Good Brothers. So yeah, man. But the crowd, man, back to the crowd, man. I love the crowd reaction throughout the night, man. It reminded me of the NXT crowd. You remember the NXT crowd from Full Sail, the NXT of old. Just the crowd reaction from that Full Sail crowd. They just made the show a lot better, man. And Impact Wrestling, man, they had no fans for the longest, and now to see them with fans, man, it was just a step towards the right direction, man. Because we need these fans, man. We need these fans in these arenas. And fans, I say this time and time again, fans will make a show. They'll make a show, and sometimes they can break a show. And so if you don't have the fans, the show can end up being bad. Now, not saying that with fans the show gonna be good, but now, man, the fans are gonna be good. The fans with the fans that made the shows better. And so yeah, man. That was Impact Wrestling, and yeah, man. And just like in the intro, I say it all the time. Hit the thumbs up if you're new here, or if you haven't done this already. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell right next to it. Make sure you click on it so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, so first off, in our first match, we had Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju with Shera in his corner. So yeah, this is a great match to open up the show, man. Both of these guys, they are really good and they work well together, man. So first off, Chris Bay, he came out. The crowd started cheering for Chris Bay, and then we started the match. Both of these guys, they try to one up each other. We had a jumping, spinning heel kick to Raju, and then Shera, he had gave Bay a cheap shot behind the referee's back. And so yeah, we had a clothesline. We had a clothesline to the back of Bay's head, and he kicked out. And then the crowd, they continued to cheer for Bay. And so we had a running. We had a series of running corner strikes to Chris Bay. We had a famouser to Raju, and we had a diving clothesline to Raju. He kicked out, and we had a jumping flatliner to Chris Bay, and he kicked out. And then Rohit Raju, he locked in a crossface submission move to Chris Bay, and Bay, he tried to roll out of the submission move, but Raju, he had locked it in again. And so Bay, he did ended up fighting out of the hold, and so they were both going back and forth. And so to end the match, we had Chris Bay hit his finishing move, the Ultimate Finesse. I think that's the name of it, the Ultimate Finesse. That springboard cutter to Rohit Raju to win the match. So Chris Bay wins the match. And man, yeah, this crowd, they were pro Bay. They were pro Chris Bay, man. They cheered for Chris Bay this entire match. And just like what I said before, man, I love the crowd reaction in these matches. I really did. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, speaking of Chris Bay, he was backstage. He ran into Jay White, the never openweight champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Jay White, who's also the leader of the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And so yeah, so Chris Bay, he ran into Jay White backstage. And so Jay White, he tried to recruit Chris Bay into the Bullet Club. And so Bay, he had said that, I walk alone. I walk alone. I work alone. And so White, he had told Chris Bay, like, where did exactly walking alone get you? It gotten you nowhere. For instance, at Slammiversary, you walked alone, but it didn't get you nowhere. You're not the champion. And so, yeah, so White, he had told Chris Bay to think about it, but hurry up, man, because this offer that I'm giving you right now is gonna expire real soon. So make sure you make your decision. And so that was it with that. And so yeah, so Chris Bay might end up joining the Bullet Club, but after tonight, maybe not, because he never said anything. He never accepted it. But yeah, so that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Gia Miller. She was backstage. She tried to interview Kenny by God Omega, who is the AEW World Champion, the Unified Impact World Champion, and the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, so she was outside of Kenny Omega's locker room, but Don Callis had came out of the locker room, and so Callis, he spoke, and so she wanted, so yeah, so Gia Miller, she wanted his thoughts on Jay White coming into Impact Wrestling. And so Callis, he said that, Impact Wrestling is a dangerous working environment, and he told Gia Miller that Kenny Omega was injured. And so yeah, he started to hype up Omega like he usually does. And so yeah, so Jay White, so this is what he said about Jay White. Like at first, Callis, he didn't know what Jay White's intentions on coming to Impact Wrestling for. Like he didn't know like why he was there. Maybe he wanted to join the Elite, or maybe he wanted to turn on somebody because he's called the Switchblade. And yeah, so Callis he don't know why he's there. And so yeah, he talked about, so Callis, he said that he doesn't want to be there because Impact Wrestling is a dangerous working environment. He talked about Sami Callihan again. And he said he doesn't want to be here any longer. And so he mentioned that he was fired from Impact Wrestling, but he still has the World Heavyweight Championship. And so he told anybody, if anybody wants to step up to Kenny Omega, they have to go through me first. And so that was it with that. What, they want to have a match with you? But yeah, they have to go through Don Callis to get to Omega. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, we did ended up seeing Kenny Omega later on tonight, but I'm gonna get in that in a little bit. And so yeah, so right after that we had Mickie James. So Mickie James, she came out to the ring and she spoke. So of course Mickie James, she came back to Impact Wrestling, the Impact Zone, and she was at Slammiversary, and she got into it with Deonna Purrazzo. And Mickie James, she came out to her theme song, Hardcore Country. and she said that it's good to be back and it's good to hear her theme music once again. And so James, she said that her coming to Slammiversary, it didn't go as planned because she wanted to do business with Deonna Purrazzo, but they ended up getting physical with each other. And so that wasn't her plan. She wasn't trying to do that. She was trying to do business with her. And so James, she had called out Purrazzo to come out to the ring so she can talk to her. And so Purrazzo, she came out. She was not happy. And so James, she had told Purrazzo that it wasn't her intention. It wasn't her intention to get physical with Purrazzo. And so James, she had told Purrazzo, like, you may have thought that I've tried to steal your spotlight, but I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to steal your spotlight. And so James, she had told Purrazzo that she's the best. She's the best in the women's division. And so James, she wants Purrazzo to join that all women show that they have on the 28th, August 28th at NWA Power. So she wants Deonna Purrazzo to be a part of that. And so Purrazzo, she said that, hey, I know what you're trying to do here. You're just trying to tell me how good I am just for you. You're doing it for you. You saying all that stuff to get what you want and everything. And Purrazzo, she said that I know you don't have to tell me anything. I know that I'm the best. Every wrestling company on this planet wants the virtuosa, and so yeah, it's facts. She is the best, and every company does want her. And so yeah, so Purrazzo, she wants Mickie James to apologize to her. She wants Mickie James to get down on her hands and knees and apologize to her. And so, or she'll slap her into next week. Purrazzo said. And so Gail Kim, she interrupted, and Kim, she calmed both women down. And so Kim, she said that she's the one that invited Mickie James to Impact Wrestling, and the reason why she did it was to get Deonna Purrazzo on that show, that all women show. And so Kim, she had asked Purrazzo, are you considering on going to the show? Like, do you want to go to the show? And so James, she continued to try to talk Purrazzo into joining NWA Power. And so James, she had asked Purrazzo, I'm gonna ask you this one more time. I'm asking you this one more time. Will you show up at NWA Power for August 28th? And so Mickie James, she held her hand out. She extended her hand. And so Purrazzo, she shook her hand. She shook Mickie James' hand in agreement that she will show up at NWA Power. And so that was it with that. Really good stuff, man. And once again, man, it is great to see Mickie James back in something important, man. It's great to see her away from WWE, because in WWE they never treated her with respect. They always disrespected Mickie James. Like she's a legend, man. She's a legend. You disrespecting her. You disrespected her on her way out. You disrespected her this entire time ever since she's been a part of the company. First you call her fat and all that stuff, and then you call her old and all that with her age when she was feuding with Alexa Bliss and all that stuff. And then you fire her, and then you send her a trash bag. You put all her stuff in a trash bag with her name on it, and you send it to our house. Dude, if that's not disrespectful, I don't know what it is, man. But they they never appreciated her, man. They never did appreciate Mickie James. So that's why I'm glad, man, that she's away from the company. I'm glad she's away from that hellhole WWE, and she's somewhere else, man. Making a name for herself, doing what she always wanted to do, but she never got an opportunity to do it because they looked at her as a liability. But yeah, and Purrazzo, man, Purrazzo, I don't have to say anything else about Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo is the best, man. Just like what she said, she is the best. And that's why she's been the Impact Knockouts champion for that long. So yeah, man. So yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a vignette, and we had some painting. We had some painting and candles. They had somebody light up some candles, and we had a painting, and it said Drama King. So we have Aiden English. So we don't know who, the viewer may not know who it is, but we know who it is. It's Aiden English. Aiden English is coming to Impact Wrestling. And so yeah, so Impact Wrestling, I said that in my Slammiversary review, that Aiden English showing up on Impact is probably the best move for him. or was it No Way Jose? Both guys. This is the better place for both of these guys because I don't see them going anywhere else but Impact Wrestling because Impact Wrestling is a first, like if you want to jumpstart your career, if you want to start from the bottom, like if you want to build yourself back up, like right after you left a company, like if you were at the bottom of the barrel in WWE and you go somewhere else, Impact Wrestling is probably the first place you should go to because Impact Wrestling, it'll help you, it'll build you up into the next stage or the bigger stage. So that's what Impact Wrestling is for. And so he's gonna end up in Impact. And so right after that we had a 6-person tag team match or a 6-person mixed tag team match. Now this match came out of nowhere, man. So yeah, we have parts of rematches in this, some rematches in this match too. Mixed tag team match with Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green and Brian Myers and Tenille Dashwood, but this time it was a 6-person mixed tag team match. So this time it was Jake something, Matt Cardona, always ready Matt Cardona, and Chelsea Green versus Sam Beale, Brian Myers, the most professional wrestler Brian Myers, and Tenille Dashwood with Kaleb with a K in their corner. So yeah, just like what I said before, this match came out of nowhere, man. And so the babyfaces, they took control of the match. They took control of Beale, and so Myers, he had a flapjack on Cardona rather. He had a flapjack on Myers, and so Myers, he had tripped up Cardona on the ropes at one point. We had a double neckbreaker to Myers and Beale from Cardona to create some space, and we had a hot tag to Chelsea Green. She took out Tenille Dashwood, and we had a backstabber to Dashwood from Green. And then Myers, he had broke up the cover. And so everybody was going at it. Everybody was going back and forth at that point. While Tenille Dashwood and Chelsea Green were in the ring. And so we had Chelsea Green try to hit her finishing move, the Unprettier, to Dashwood. But Kaleb, he got on the ring apron to try to distract Chelsea Green and the referee. But you had Taylor Wilde. A returning Taylor Wilde, came out and she took out Kaleb. So I don't know where she been. But she was gone and now she's back. And so Taylor Wilde, she took out Kaleb, and then to end the match we had the Unprettier to Sam Beale from Chelsea Green to win the match. So Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona, and Jake something wins the match. And so yeah, that was it with the match. I don't know how the mixed tag team rules are in Impact Wrestling, but yeah, the rules are different from WWE and Impact Wrestling. I kind of like the Impact Wrestling rule better. You know, the men could actually touch the women, and the women could actually touch the men, or do moves on the men and moves on the women and all that stuff. Because Chelsea Green, she did pin Sam Beale. In WWE it would have been an illegal move. But yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, right after that we had a backstage segment from Eddie Edwards. He spoke. He talked about Morrissey and their match that they had at Slammiversary, saying that Morrissey cheated by using that steel chain to beat Eddie Edwards with. And so Edwards, he said Morrissey, like, hey man, if you want to fight, man, we could fight right now. And so he challenged Morrissey to a street fight or a parking lot brawl right now. And so yeah, we went to commercial break. We came back from commercial break. We had the fight. It wasn't an official match. It was just a brawl. And so it was Eddie Edwards and Morrissey. They were fighting in a parking lot, and you had the crowd, you had the fans outside. So I like that part. And so yeah, it was dark outside, and they were fighting. It looked like they were fighting near a trailer. And so Edwards, he hit Morrissey with a trash can at one point, and we had a big boot to Edwards. And then Morrissey, he grabbed the trash can and he started hitting Edwards with the trash can. And so Morrissey, he took control of that. And so Edwards, he had grabbed two kendo sticks. And he started hitting Morrissey with them. And so Morrissey, he ran away, so he retreated. So Eddie Edwards, he thought he won the match, but it wasn't it really wasn't a match. It was just a brawl. And so yeah, that was it. That was it with that. So yeah, this show was also chaotic too. It was also chaotic. We had a lot of moving parts in this show. So yeah. After that we had a backstage interview from Gia Miller. She interviews the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, Sam Beale, and Tenille Dashwood and Kaleb. And so yeah, they were backstage and they were talking about their loss earlier tonight. And so Gia Miller, she had asked Brian Myers about a mixed tag team tournament at Homecoming. And so Myers said that Tenille Dashwood, now that Tenille Dashwood is my partner in this mixed tag team tournament, Tenille Dashwood is under my learning tree. And so Tenille Dashwood, she didn't like what Brian Myers said. And so she said that, did you see what happened out there? We lost. So I'm not gonna be your partner. I'm not gonna go to homecoming with you. Yeah, I thought that was funny. She said I'm not gonna go to homecoming with you because that's the name of the show, Homecoming, mixed tag team tournament show. So yeah, get it, homecoming. You take a girl out to a dance, homecoming dance. You get it. But so Myers had blamed Beale for the loss and him losing his tag team partner, his mixed tag team partner, into Tenille Dashwood. And so Beale said that, trust me, man, I will find you a partner. I'll find you a new partner. And he said because I can talk to women, I can talk to girls. And so Beale, he tried to talk to Gia Miller, and so Gia Miller, she had walked away. She was like, I'm not about to talk to you. And so yeah, appropriate name for that pay-per-view, Homecoming, for a mixed tag team tournament. What does what do the winners get in the mixed tag team tournament? I don't know. And who are in the tournament? Who is in the mixed tag team tournament? As far as I know, Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green, Brian Myers, and a person of his choosing. Who else is in this tournament? And how many teams are in the tournament? And most important question, what exactly do they win? And I think I pointed that out in the Slammiversary review when they brought it up on Slammiversary. Do the winners get a championship match of their respective divisions? Maybe, probably. I don't know. But we need to know like what exactly do they need? What exactly are they gonna win? What exactly will they win? The winners win. What exactly will the winners get when they win the tournament? And so yeah, man. And another question, man. Bill, he said that he will find Brian Myers a partner. Who will be Brian Myers' partner? Who would team up? Who would want to team with Brian Myers? That's the thing. Who would want to team up with Brian Myers? That's the question you gotta ask. But yeah, we'll find out, man. We'll find out next week. Maybe next week or maybe the week after the next. But yeah, those are the questions that I asked, man. Those are the questions that I asked about this. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Jay White, the never openweight champion and the leader of the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He came out, and at the end of Slammiversary, they had showed the ending. So yeah, so when we was watching Slammiversary, I thought it was only me, but they did mention it on commentary that something did happen at the end of that show. On Slammiversary, we had David Finlay of FinJuice. He attacked not Juice Robinson. David Finlay, he attacked Jay White at the end of the show, but we didn't see it on pay-per-view. And so they showed it again on tonight's show. And so not Juice Robinson, Jay White, he hit him with a sling blade. I think that's his finishing move name, the sling blade cutter or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he hit David Finlay with his finishing move, and that was it with that. And so yeah, that was the end of the video. And so Switchblade came out. Switchblade Jay White came out. We had a Switchblade chant from the crowd, and they were saying it over and over and over again. They would not stop saying Switchblade. And so yeah, so White, he introduced himself to the Impact Wrestling fans. And so yeah, he talked about his accomplishments in New Japan Pro Wrestling, him becoming a Grand Slam champion, former IWGP Heavyweight champion, and all that stuff, and all the other championships that he held down there. And I think he said he was the first Grand Slam champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And so yeah, so White, he has said that he's the real belt collector. So that's a shot at Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega, he calls himself the belt collector. And so yeah, so White, he said that he's here for only one person. And so at that point, I thought he was gonna say Kenny Omega because he said the belt collector and all that stuff. And he said David Finlay, so he's here for David Finlay. And because David Finlay, he and David Finlay, so Jay White and David Finlay, they have a match at their New Japan pay-per-view called Resurgence. I forgot the date, but they have a match at Resurgence, and it's for the Never Openweight Championship, I believe it is. And so yeah, so he's going after David Finlay for right now. And so yeah, of course he promoted the Resurgence pay-per-view. And so White called Finlay a disappointment. And he said that Finlay would never beat him. And so yeah, he said that he mentioned something about fans too. He mentioned something about fans, the real fans. And everybody thought that he was talking about the Impact Wrestling fans, but he was talking about the elite. The elite are the true fans of the Bullet Club. And so yeah, and so he called. So Jay White, he said something about the Good Brothers. You know, the reason why they were relevant was because they were a part of the Bullet Club or something along those lines that he said. And so basically saying that they would be nothing without the Bullet Club. Their careers wouldn't be where they are without the Bullet Club. And so yeah, so White, he said that the Good Brothers, they're not good enough anymore. They're not. And so Kenny Omega, his music plays. And so you had Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, and Don Callis. They came out to the ring. And so we had a "You Got Fired" chant from the crowd. And Callis was heated. He took off his blazer, getting ready to fight one of the people in the crowd. And so Omega, he had calmed Callis down. He told him to calm down and everything. And so Callis, as always, he grabbed the microphone. He hyped up his guys as always, and he talked about the original Bullet Club. Kenny Omega becoming the leader of the Bullet Club, dominating that group, selling out the Tokyo Dome and all that stuff. And so, yeah, so White, he grabbed the microphone. He told Callis, you don't work here, right? You don't work here. You don't work here anymore. And so we have another "You Got Fired" chant from the crowd. And so White, he had said something about Kenny Omega. He said the last time that we were in this ring, correct me if I'm wrong, did not beat you. And so, yeah, he did. I didn't like I don't keep up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I might have to go back and watch it, but he said that he beaten Kenny Omega. So yeah, it's true. If he said he beat him, then he beat him. And so yeah, so Omega and Callis had left right after Jay White said that. And so they let the Good Brothers speak. So Callis said that, take care of this, Good Brothers. And so the Good Brothers, they spoke to Jay White. And, the brothers, they said that you, Jay White, you should be thanking us. You should be thanking us for everything. You should be thanking us for the life that you have right now. Because, we should, like, they were saying that we deserve royalties from the Bullet Club. And yeah, so they called themselves the Bullet Club royalties. We like you are the leader of the Bullet Club. You're the leader of the Bullet Club, and you standing in the ring with the Bullet Club royalties. And so they wanted Jay White to say thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you. And so White, he did not say thank you. He did not say thank you. He didn't want to say thank you. And so he said that Carl Anderson's career peaked in that G1 Climax tournament. And so he had a massive O from the crowd. They was like, oh. And so White, he had said that he's a guy, like Jay White is a guy that the Good Brothers wish they can be. And so we had a ooh from the crowd again. And so the brawl had broke out with the Good Brothers and White. So they ganged up on White. So White, he was fighting them off, but the numbers had caught up to Jay White. And so yeah, Chris Bay, he came out to save White. So Chris Bay, he came out to even up the odds. And so at that point I was like, did he accept it or not? Did he accept it or not? And so yeah, because he never said anything. He never said, yes, I accept. All he said was, no, I walk alone. But, is he going to accept it? Will he join the Bullet Club? I probably won't. I don't know. Maybe he does join the Bullet Club. Maybe not. But yeah, man, this segment was good. This is a really good segment. Really good segment. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. So yeah, Kenny Omega, when he came out, man, he had like a headband. He had like a headband on to, I guess, nurse his injury from that match that he had with Sami Callihan. And so yeah, it was a wrap. It was a wrap around his head. So yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so Jay White. So right after he's finished with David Finlay, he's gonna go right after the Omega. He's gonna go right after Omega. And I think, man, I think we might see Jay White. We might see Jay White on AEW Dynamite. One of these days, we might see him probably in a shocking attack or a shocking surprise. We might see Jay White in AEW, so he can probably take the Impact World Championship away from him. Like if Kenny Omega is not on Impact and he wants a piece of Kenny Omega, he can always go to AEW because they have a working relationship. All three companies have a working relationship, and we might like the with Jay White showing up, we might that Forbidden Door storyline is opening up some more. But yeah, like it's starting to open up now that we have fans back. So at the time when we didn't have fans, like the Forbidden Door storyline was still the same. We didn't have no more people showing up on Dynamite and Impact and all that stuff. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Gia Miller. She interviews Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, who is the X Division champion. And so yeah, so Gia Miller, she congratulated Josh on retaining his championship in that Ultimate X match. And she asked, what's next for you? What's next for you, Alexander? And so Josh Alexander, he said that he's ready for all challenges. He will defend his championship, and he wants to be a champion that everybody can be proud of. And so you had Kenny Omega. So first off, he said that he wanted to be the face of Impact Wrestling. And so Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion and the Impact World Champion and the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion, he interrupted Josh Alexander. My God. Josh Alexander. He interrupted Josh Alexander's interview, and they both stared down each other. And they were talking to Josh Alexander. Him and Callis were talking to Alexander, and they were saying, "You, the face of the company." And so they both laughed off and they left. And so yeah, so we might be seeing a match against these two in the future. Maybe when Alexander loses championship, we might be seeing Omega versus Josh Alexander for the championship, Impact World Championship match. Maybe. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. That was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had a backstage interview. Not a backstage interview, we had a backstage segment from the Good Brothers, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions. That's Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson. They spoke about Jay White. They talked about everything that happened earlier tonight. And they talked about Jay White, still wanting Jay White to thank them for giving him the life that he has right now. And, they talked about Chris Bay sticking his nose in somebody else's business, saying that he made a mistake by sticking his nose in their business. And so they called Chris Bay a young boy. They called him Jay White's young boy. And so the Good Brothers, the Good Brothers had challenged Jay White and Chris Bay to a tag team match next week. And so that was it with that. So that match should be good. Who wins? That's the problem. They booked themselves into a corner with this one, man. Because you have Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions, and you have Jay White on the other team, who's the Never Openweight Champion. So who you gonna have win? You can't have Jay White lose. You can't you can't have him lose because he's the Never Openweight Champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And New Japan, they don't want their champion losing on another show. I don't think they would. They wouldn't want nobody losing on somebody else's show. If I'm if I'm a promoter, if I'm the boss of my own wrestling company, if I send my wrestler, my champion, either my world champion or my mid card champion or my tag team champion to another show, I would not want them to lose on another show. I would not want them to lose on another show because they're my champions. I built them up to win. I built them up as undefeated champions, and you gonna have them lose in a tag team match? I would not do that. And the Good Brothers, they can't lose either. They can't lose either because they're the Impact World Tag Team Champions. So what's gonna happen in this match? Will we get a double disqualification or something like that? Will the rest of the elite get involved in this match? Will Kenny Omega get involved in this match, causing a disqualification? Like what's gonna happen in this match? And the only person that could probably take a loss is Chris Bay, probably. But you don't want to make him lose either because he's just won. He just won his match. You want to have him on a string of wins. So, yeah, it's like nobody in this match can lose. Nobody in this tag team match can lose. So yeah, but I don't know how they're gonna do this. But I don't know how they're gonna do this. But they booked themselves into a corner. with this one. But yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a tag team match, and it was Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus FinJuice. That's David Finlay and Juice Robinson. And so yeah, with this match, man, we had quick tags from FinJuice to take out Austin. We had a cheap shot from Fulton to Finlay, and so the heels took control of the match. We have a diving spinning kick to Finlay from Austin, and he kicked out. We had a high tag to Juice. He took out Austin and Fulton. And so Finlay, he took out Fulton outside the ring. And so we had Juice Robinson, he hit his jabs to Austin, followed up by the left hand from God. So that's that left hand. So he called it the left hand from God. And so we had a roll up to Fulton from Juice Robinson to win the match. So FinJuice wins the match. And so right after the match, we had Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. They attacked FinJuice. And then we had Rohit Raju. We had a Rohit Raju and Shera. They attacked FinJuice as well. So they came out and took out FinJuice too. So the heels stood tall. So we had Fulton, Austin, Rohit Raju, and Shera. They stood tall over the baby faces. And so yeah, so Austin hit his finishing move to fold to Juice Robinson. And so that was it. And at that point I was like, are we gonna see a new faction? Are we gonna see a new faction? Because they've been teaming up for weeks now in this X Division stuff, this X Division Ultimate X feud. So will we see a new faction? I don't know. If so, it'll probably be good. But yeah, but you gotta have these guys win. You gotta have these guys win if you want to make a faction. You want to create a faction like this, a dominant faction. You gotta have them win. But Fulton took the pin, man. Fulton took the pin. He's a big guy, man. He taking losses like that to his smaller opponents. Yeah, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. But yeah, man. But the feud came out of nowhere, man. It came out of nowhere. Shera and Fulton, they actually fought FinJuice at Slammiversary, so this feud just came out of nowhere, man. It just came out of nowhere. And so yeah, man. So we might be seeing a new faction. Might be seeing a new faction with 4 of these guys, and I guess we have to wait and see how it turns out, man. But if you want to build like a dominant group, man, you gotta have them win. You gotta have the members win a match. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, we had Rich Swann. So backstage, we had Rich Swann and Willie Mack. They spoke. They talked about Violent by Design being sore losers because they lost the Impact World Tag Team Championships, and they talked about Violent by Design blaming Rich Swann and Willie Mack. They blame Rich Swann and Willie Mack for Violent by Design losing their tag team titles. And so Swann said that they both know what it's like to lose championships. Me and Willie, we know what it's like to lose championships. And, we lost the match too. And so, yeah, they said that, yeah, so Swann and Mack, they challenged Violent by Design to a tag team match next week. And they said that, if you want to match with us, we're not hard to find. And so you had this light bulb that was standing, that light bulb was right behind Willie Mack and Rich Swann, and it was flickering. It flickered on and off. And so they both looked back. And at first, he saw Eric Young. He was there. And so the rest of Violent by Design and attack Rich Swann and Willie Mack. As Eric Young, he stood back and watched. And so Young, he went up to the camera and he said, "We found you. And next week, we will end you." So yeah, man. That was it with that. Violent by Design, I love them. I love those guys, man. I love the group. I love the whole entire group, man. That cult attitude, man, that they have about them, I love it. And so yeah, man. And they never should have took those titles off of them, though. They never should have took those titles off of them. Never should have took those titles off of them. They never, dude, they just won the championships. They won the tag team championships. And you have them lose it. They didn't even have a long reign. They should have had a longer reign as the champions. And you had them lose. Like, first off, you had him on the Good Brothers. You took it off of the Good Brothers to put it on FinJuice. And then you took it from FinJuice to put it on Violent by Design. And you put it back on the Good Brothers. You put it back on the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers did not need those tag team titles. They didn't. But I see why they gave it to them, so that the Elite can have all the gold in pro wrestling. But man, I would have kept the titles on Violent by Design, man. They had so much promise as tag team champions. They had that free bird rule going on too, man. You know, any member of the Violent by Design group can defend those tag team titles. Dude, I love that stuff, man. But they took the titles off of them. But yeah, man. Same thing with FTR, man. With me saying that I wanted FTR to still be those AEW World Tag Team Championships, held on to those AEW World Tag Team Championships longer. I wish Violent by Design would have held on to those Impact World Tag Team Championships longer, man. Like they didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough time to defend that championships, to defend those tag team titles. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. Hopefully they'll get the tag team titles back, man. But right now they are not gonna get those titles back. And so yeah, so right after that we had Gia Miller. She caught up with Moose. So yeah, Moose he was walking to Scott D'Amore's office, and so he started banging on Scott's door. And so Scott came out, and Moose started talking to Scott, and he wanted a rematch with Sabin. He wanted a rematch with Chris Sabin because Moose lost to Chris Sabin at Slammiversary. And so Sabin he came out, he confronted Moose, and you know if you want a match, man, like how about we fight right now? That's what Sabin said. He said, "How about we fight right now, dude? We don't have to do no match. We could fight right now." And so Scott D'Amore he said that next week, you know, you guys want this match so bad. How about we do it next week? We're gonna have a rematch with Moose versus Chris Sabin next week. And so I'm guessing that Moose get his win back. So yeah, we doing 50-50 booking right here. So you then again, you don't want Moose to lose again to Chris Sabin. So Moose will get his win back, and then after that we'll have like a rubber match. And who wins the rubber match? I don't know, but they need to do something with Moose, bro. I can't believe that Moose never been the world champion yet in Impact. Look at the dude. Look at the guy, dude. This dude got the size. This dude got the technique. This dude got the charisma. This dude have everything. This dude have everything that you will want in a professional wrestler. This dude is like a perfect professional wrestler. Like the size, the body, the charisma, the attitude, the the entrance too, man. The swagger, man. He has everything, dude. He has everything. Dude, if I was the owner of a promotion, Moose is my world champion. If I had to choose Moose, if Moose was my first pick, I'll make him world champion of my show. This dude, like, dude, he looks like a world champion. Comes off as a world champion. You never gave him the championship. You want to make him the self-proclaimed TNA World Championship, TNA World Heavyweight Champion, instead of giving him the Impact World Championship. Dude, they should have gave him the championship, but they gave the championship to Tessa Blanchard, dude, a female over Moose, over freaking Moose, bro. But yeah, that was it with that, man. That was it. But so before we get into next week's show, or before we get into the main event rather, let's talk about next week's show. So yeah, so next week we only have two matches that were announced. So we have Violent by Design. We have Diener and Rhino of Violent by Design with Eric Young and Big Joe Doran in their corner versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack next week in a tag team match. And also next week we also have another tag team match, and it's going to be Jay White, the never openweight champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling and the leader of the Bullet Club, and the Ultimate Finesser Chris Bay versus the Good Brothers, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions. That's Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson. So those are the matches that were announced for next week's show. And so finally, we had the main event. And this was a good match too, but this match was rushed. It was rushed. It felt like it was rushed because right after the person won the tag team, you know, right after Havoc and Rosemary won the match, the show went right off the air. But yeah, but I love the crowd reaction in this match too. Not in the match, but when Fire and Flavor made their entrance, the crowd was clapping and dancing and singing along to Fire and Flavor's theme music. So I love that. So that's the reason why we need crowds, man. And so yeah, man. And so yeah, so we had a spinning sidewalk slam to Hogan from Rosemary, and she kicked out. We had a backbreaker into a clothesline to Tasha Steelz from Havoc. And so the babyfaces, they took control of the match at that point. And we had a drape and cutter to Rosemary from Steelz. And then Hogan, she unloaded on Rosemary. and we had chops to Rosemary from Steels. And so Rosemary, she started to fight back. We had a sling blade to Steels from Rosemary. And then we had strikes. So both of these ladies, they're going back and forth with strikes. Rosemary and Steels were. And so the strikes that Steels had gave Rosemary started firing her up. And so we had a double crossbody to each other. So Rosemary and Steels, they hit double cross bodies to each other, so they're both knocked out. And so we had a hot tag to Havoc. She took out Fire and Flavor on her own. And so we had a reverse DDT to Hogan from Rosemary. She kicked out. And so at one point we had Fire and Flavor. They went for a move on Rosemary, but Hogan, she accidentally kicked Tasha Steelz. She accidentally super kicked Tasha Steelz. And so to end the match, because Hogan, she was distracted by that. And so to end the match, we had a spear and a Russian leg sweep combo to Kiera Hogan to win the match from Havoc and Rosemary. So Havoc and Rosemary wins the match and are still the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So yeah, man, yeah, that I knew the match was gonna end that way. Rosemary and Havoc retaining their titles because they beat they beat Fire and Flavor. They beat Fire and Flavor at Slammiversary to get the championships. To beat Wait, didn't they become the new champions? Yeah, they beat them to become the new champions, and they invoked their rematch clause. So yeah, they're not gonna win the championships and then lose the championships back to the people that they beat. So it wouldn't make any sense. So that's why they gave it to Havoc and Rosemary. And yeah, man, and yeah, and the stuff like the match, it felt rushed at the end. At first, I didn't know why it was the main event either, too. But as far as matches, I guess that's why they put it at the main event, because it was probably the better match, on the show tonight. So that's why they probably put it in the main event. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was it with Impact Wrestling, man. That was it with Impact Wrestling, and it was a good show. It was a good show. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best show. It was good. It was good, man. The crowd being back for the first time, it made it better. Just them being there and them giving life to the show with their reactions, whether it was for the matches or the promos, the in-ring promos and all that stuff. And of course, Jay White coming in too, it made things better. The crowd, enjoyed Jay White being there. So, and we finally getting that Forbidden Door storyline opened up some more. That door just opening up a little wider now. And yeah, man. And we might get Jay White. We might get Jay White versus Kenny Omega right after he's done with Juice Robinson. Not Juice Robinson. David Finlay. I'm getting these two mixed up, man. So yeah, man. So yeah, that was it with Impact Wrestling for July 22nd, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button is a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know my next video is uploaded, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for all notifications. Comment down below, tell me how you felt about this episode of Impact Wrestling. And share this video, man. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, man. I'll see you guys back on Tuesday. We don't have anything on Friday. Well, of course, SmackDown, but I don't review SmackDown. And we don't have anything on Saturday or Sunday, and of course, Monday, I don't review Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw is garbage. So I'll see you guys back on Tuesday. So yeah, man. And yeah. And if you missed my Slammiversary review, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. So it's that first half of that video. So the video is an hour long, actually. It's an hour and 30 minutes long, because I got it. I had the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary review with the Money in the Bank review. So it's two separate videos in one video. So it's all in one video. So it's an hour and 30 minutes. So it's that first half of the video. So click this video right here, is up here. And if you missed the last week's review of Impact Wrestling, the go home show before Slammiversary, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. So click this first. You can click this one first and then watch this one. either or. You can watch either or. But these are the videos right here. And the links to those videos will be down below in the description down below. So make sure you click it if you missed anything. And yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the love and support for the show. Thank you, thank you, and thank you, man. Thank you for everything. For the likes, subscribes, everything. Thank you for everything. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.